What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Daves-Raves. And I figure since we're infiltrating in the Southern Common Room today, figure why not put up the green light for everybody. Chapter 12, Polyjuice Potion. Just a little recap for you guys in case you forgot what happened last time. They just found Josephine Spencer, and Brianna was bringing them up to Dumbledore's office. They stepped off the stone staircase at the top, and Professor McGonagall rapped on the door, which means knock. I don't know why the hell Rowling will put rapped. It's knock, lady. Professor McGonagall rapped on the door. It opened silently, and they entered. Professor McGonagall told Harry to wait and left him there, alone. Harry looked around. One thing was certain. Of all the teachers' offices Harry had ever visited so far this year, Dumbledore was by far the most interesting. If he hadn't been scared out of his wits that he was about to be thrown out of the school, he would have been very pleased to have a chance to look around it. It was a large and beautiful circular room, full of funny little noises. A number of curious silver instruments stood on spindle-legged tables, whirring and emitting little puffs of smoke. The walls were covered with portraits of old headmasters and headmistresses, all of whom were snoozing gently in the frames. There was also an enormous claw-footed desk, and, sitting on a shelf behind it, a shabby, tattered wizard's hat. The sorting hat. Harry hesitated. He cast a wary, which means alert, W-A-R-Y, eye around the sleeping witches and wizards on the walls. Surely it couldn't hurt if he took the hat down and tried it on again, just to see, just to make sure it had put him in the right house. He walked quietly around the desk, lifted the hat from the shelf, and lowered it slowly onto his head. It was much too large and slipped down over his eyes, just as it had done the last time he put it on. Harry stared at the black inside of the hat, waiting. Then a small voice said in his ear, "Be in your bunk, Harry Potter." Yes, Harry muttered. Sorry to bother you. I want to ask. You've been wondering if I put you in the right house, said the hat smartly. Yes, you were particularly difficult to place. But I stand by what I said before. Harry's heart leapt. You would have done well, Miss Slytherin. Harry's stomach plummeted. He grabbed the point of the hat and pulled it off. Hung limply in his hand, grubby, faded. Harry pushed it back onto the shelf, feeling sick. You're wrong, he said aloud to the still and silent hat. He didn't move. Harry backed away, watching it. Then a strange gagging noise behind him made him wheel around. He wasn't alone after all. Standing on a golden perch behind the door was a decrepit-looking bird that resembled. Oh. Harry stared at it, and the bird looked balefully beak, a half-puffed turkey in there. Harry stared at it, and the bird looked balefully back, making this gagging noise again. Harry thought it looked very ill. Its eyes were dull, and, even as Harry watched, a couple more feathers fell out of its tail. Harry was just thinking that's all he knew was that Dumbledore's pet bird had died while he was alone in his office when the bird burst into flames. Harry yelled in shock and backed away into the desk. He looked feverishly feverishly around in case there's a glass of water somewhere, but can't see one. The bird, meanwhile, will become a fireball. Hmm. They gave one loud shriek. The next second, there was nothing but a smoldering pile of ash on the floor. The office door opened. Dumbledore came in, looking very somber. Professor, I guess, you're bird. You can't do anything. You just caught fire. To Harry's astonishment, Dumbledore smiled. About time, too, he said. He's been looking dreadful for days. I've been telling you to get a move on. He chuckled at the stunned look on Harry's face. Fox is a phoenix, Harry. Phoenixes burst into flame when it is time for them to die, and are reborn from the ashes. Watch him. Harry looked down in time to see a tiny, wrinkled newborn bird poke its head out of the ashes. It was quite as ugly as the old one. It's a shame you had to see him on a burning day, said Dumbledore, seating himself behind his desk. He's really very handsome most of the time. Wonderful red and gold plumage. Fascinating creatures, phoenixes. They can carry immensely heavy loads. Their tears have healing powers, and they might they make highly faithful pets. In the shock of Fox catching fire, Harry had forgotten why he was there for. It all came back to him as Dumbledore settled himself in the high chair behind the desk and, and fixed Harry with his penetrating, light blue stare. Before Dumbledore could speak another word, however, the office door burst open, flew open, with an almighty bang, and Harry burst in, a wild look in his eyes. A damn word's back. Balcalava, Bacalava, Balacalava, 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 Blaclava. Perched on top. I'm gonna call it a scarf, y'all. His scarf perched on top of his shaggy black head, and Dead Reese was still swinging from his head. Man. It wasn't Harry, Professor Dumbledore, said Hagrid urgently. I was talking to him seconds before that kid was found. He never had time to say. Dumbledore tried to say something, but Hagrid went ranting on, waving the Reese around him as his agitation, starting feathers everywhere. It can't have been him. I swear in front of the Ministry on Magic if I have to. Harry, you've got the wrong boy, sir. I know Harry would never. Hagrid, said Dumbledore loudly. I do not think. Good morning, Billy. I do not think that Harry attacked those people. Oh, said Hagrid, Bruiser falling limply at his side. Right, I'll wait outside then, headmaster. And then he stopped out, looking embarrassed. You don't think it was me, Professor? Harry repeated, hopefully, as Dumbledore brushed the rooster desk feathers off his desk. No, Harry, I don't, said Dumbledore. Though his face was somber again. But I would still want to talk to you. Harry waited nervously while Dumbledore considered him, the tips of his long fingers together. Hmm. I must ask you, Harry, whether there is anything you'd like to tell me, he said gently. Anything at all. Harry didn't know what to say. He thought him halfway, shouting, You'll be next, mudbloods! And of the polyjuice potion simmering away in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. Then he thought of the disembodied voice he had heard twice in Myrtle Brown's head. Hearing voices no one else can hear isn't the sign, even in the wizarding world. He thought, too, about what everyone was saying about him. was growing in dread that he was somehow connected with Salazar Slytherin. "Now," said Harry, "there isn't anything, Professor." "Oh, hiya, Harry." Hmm. Yeah, shit. I don't know, my throat's so dry today. More water, though. Hmm. The double, the double attack from Justin and nearly hit his neck, turning what had hitherto been nervousness into real panic. Hitherto, what had hitherto been nervousness into real panic. Curiously, it was nearly hit his neck's fate that seemed to worry people the most. What could possibly do that to a ghost? We lost each other. What terrible power could harm someone who was already dead? It was almost a stampede to book seats on the Hogwarts Express so that students could go home for Christmas. At this rate, we'll be the only ones left, Ron told Harry and Hermione. Us, Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle. What a jolly holiday that's going to be. Hmm. Crabbe and Goyle, who always did whatever Malfoy said, had signed up to stay over the holidays too. But Harry was glad that most people were leaving. He was tired of people skirting around him in the corridors, as though he were about to sprout fangs or spit poison. Tired of all the muttering, pointing, and hissing as he passed. Fred and George, however, found all this very funny. They went out of their way to march ahead of Harry down the corridor, shouting, "Make way for the Earl Slytherin! Seriously, evil wizard coming through!" Percy was deeply disapproving of this behavior. "He's not a laughing matter." "Oh, get out of the way, Percy. Harry's in a hurry." "Yes, he's off to the Chamber of Secrets for a cup of tea with the fine servant," said George, chortling. Jane didn't find it amusing either. "Oh, don't!" she wailed every time Fred asked Harry loudly who he was planning to attack next, or when George pretended to ward Harry off with a large cloak of garlic when they met. Harry didn't mind. It made him feel better that Fred and George, at least, thought the idea of him being Slytherin's heir was quite ludicrous. But their antics seemed to be aggravating Draco Malfoy, who looked increasingly sour each time he saw them at it. "It's because of Boston to say it's really him," said Ron knowingly. "You know how he hates anyone beating at anything, and you're getting all the credit for his dirty work." "Not for long," said Hermione in a satisfied voice. "The apologies, patience, nearly ready. We'll be getting at you, Devon, any day now." At last the term ended, and a silence deep as the snow on the ground descended on the castle. Harry found it peaceful, rather than gloomy, and enjoyed the fact that he, Hermione, and the Weasleys had the run in Gryffindor Tower, which meant they could play exploding snaps loudly without bothering anyone, and practice dueling in private. Fred, George, and Ginny had chosen to stay at school rather than lose a bill in Egypt with Mr. and Mrs. Weasley. Percy, who disapproved of what he termed their childish behavior, didn't spend much time in the Gryffindor common room. He had already told them pompously that he was only staying over Christmas because it was his duty as a prefect to support teachers during their troubled time. This troubled time. Christmas morning dawned, cold and white. Harry and Ron, the only ones left in their dormitory, were woken very early by Hermione, who burst in, fully dressed and carrying presents for them both. "Wake up!" she said loudly, pulling the curtains at the window. "Hermione, you're not supposed to be in here." said Ryan. Said Ron, shielding his eyes against the light. Merry Christmas to you too, said Hermione, throwing him his present. I've been up for nearly an hour, adding the most resources to the potion. It's ready. Harry sat up, suddenly wide awake. Are you sure? Positive, said Hermione, shifting Scabbers' cigarette so that she could sit down on the end of Ron's four poster. Oh, foreshadowing. If we're going to do it, I say it should be tonight. At that moment, Hedwig swooped into the room, carrying a very small package in her beak. Hello, said Harry happily as she ran out of bed. Are you speaking to me again? She nibbled his ear. She nibbled his ear in an affectionate sort of way, which was a far better present than the one she had brought him, which turned out to be from the Dursleys. They had sent Harry a toothpick and a note, telling him to find out where he'd be able to study at Hogwarts in the summer vacation, too. The rest of Harry's Christmas presents were far more satisfactory. Hagrid had sent him a large tin of treacle toffee, which Harry had decided to soften by the time before evening. Probably not a bad idea. Ron had given him a book called Flying with the Cannons, a book of interesting facts about his favorite quiz team. And Hermione had bought him a luxury eagle feather quill. Ooh. Harry opened the last present to find a new hand-knitted sweater from Mrs. Weasley and a large plum cake. Ew! What are you UK Brits eating? A plum cake? That sounds disgusting, y'all. No offense. But black. This is my personal opinion here. He read her card with a fresh surge of guilt, thinking about Mr. Weasley's car, which hadn't been seen since it was crashing along with Whomping Red, and about rule breaking he and Ron were planning next. No one, not even someone dreading taking college potion later, could fail to enjoy Christmas dinner at Hogwarts. The Great Hall was magnificent. Not only was there a dozen frost-covered Christmas trees and thick streamers of holly and mistletoe crisscrossing the ceiling, but enchanted snow was falling, warm and dry, from the ceiling. Dumbledore led them in a few of his favorite carols, Hagrid booming more and more loudly with every goblet of eggnog he consumed. Percy, who hadn't noticed that Fred had bewitched his prefect badge so that it now read Pinhead, kept asking what they're all snickering at. Harry didn't even care that Draco Malfoy was making loud snide remarks about his new sweater from the slithering table. With a bit of luck, Malfoy would be getting his comeuppance in a few hours' time. Harry and Ron had barely finished their third helpings of Christmas puddings. Christmas pudding, and Hermione ushered them out of the hall to finalize their plans for the evening. We still need a bit of people to train into, said Hermione matter-of-factly, although she was sending them to the supermarket for laundry food. And obviously it'll be the best if you can get some of Crabs and Goyles. They're Malfoy's best friends. They'll tell them anything. And also to make sure the real Captain Goyle can't burst in on us while we're interrogating him. I've got it all worked out, she went on smoothly, ignoring Harry and Ron's stupefied faces. She held up two plump chocolate cakes. I feel these are the simplest sleeping drugs. All you have to do is make sure Crabbe and Goyle find them. You know how greedy they are. They're bound to eat them. Once they're asleep, pull out a few of the hairs and hide them in a broom closet. Harry and Ron looked incredulously at each other. Hermione, I don't think I could go seriously wrong. But Hermione had a steely glint in her eye not unlike the one Professor McGonagall sometimes had. The potion would be useless without grabbing Goyle's hair, she said sternly. You do want to investigate Malfoy, don't you? Oh, all right, said Harry. But what about you? Whose hair are you whipping out? I've already got mine, said Hermione brightly, pulling a tiny bottle out of her pocket and showing him the single hair inside it. Remember Millicent Bulstrode wrestling with me at the Dueling Club? She left this on my robes when she was trying to strangle me, and she's gone for Christmas. So I just have to tell the Slytherins decides to come back. When Hermione had bustled off to check the Polyjuice Potion again, Ron turned to Harry with a doom-laden expression. Have you ever heard of a clown with coming out of the Great Hall? Harry and Ron hid quickly behind the suit of armor next to the front. In the closet across the hall. Once they were safely stowed away among buckets of mops, Harry yanked a couple of bristles that covered Goyle's forehead, and Ron pulled out several Harry Crab's hair. And Ron pulled out several Crab's hairs. They also stole their shoes because their own were far too small for Crab and Goyle's size feet. Then, still stunned as what they had just done, they sprinted up to Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. They could hardly see for the thick black smoke issuing from the stall, in which Hermione was stirring the cauldron. Pulling the robes up over their faces, Harry and Ron knocked softly on the door. Hermione! They heard the scrape of the lock, and Hermione emerged, shiny faced and looking anxious. Behind her, they heard gloop, gloop of a bubbling, glutinous potion. 3 glass tumblers stood ready on the toilet seat. Did you get them? Asked Hermione breathlessly. Harry showed Royal's hair. Good. I sneaked these spare robes out of the laundry, Hermione said, holding up a small sack. They'll be big sizes once they're cut and Goyle. The three of them stared into the cauldron. Close up, the potion looked like thick, dark mud, bubbled and sucked sluggishly. I'm sure I've done everything right, said Hermione nervously, rereading the splotched page of Musty Potential. It looks like the book says it should. Once we've drunk it, we'll have exactly an hour before we change back into ourselves. Now what? Ron whispered. We separate it into 3 classes and add the hairs. Man, I'm sorry, but drinking anything with crab and boils sounds like it would be a nightmare. Damn, sorry for the lawnmower noise in the background, y'all. Hermione ladled 3 large gobs of potion to each of the glasses. Then, her hand trembling, she shamelessly bolsters her out of its bottle into the first glass. The potion hissed loudly like a boiling kettle and frothed madly. A second later, it had turned a sick sort of yellow. Ugh, essence of mollusc and postro, said Ron, eyeing it with loathing. But it tastes disgusting. And yours, huh? Harry dropped Goyle's head into the middle glass, and Ron put crabs into the last one. Both glasses hissed stuff front. Goyle's turned the khaki color of booger. Crabs a dark and murky brown. Hang on, said Harry as Ron and Hermione reached out for their glasses. We better not drink them all in here. Once we turn into Cabin Grove, we won't fit. Melissa bolsters, no pixie. Good thinking. We'll take separate stalls. Careful not to spill a drop of his polyjuice potion. Harry slipped into the middle stall. Ready? 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 Came Ron's and Hermione's voices. 1, 2, 3. Pinching his noise. Pinching his nose, Harry drank the potion down in 2 large gulps. It tasted like overcooked cabbage. Immediately, his insides started writhing as though he just swallowed live snakes. Doubled up, he wondered whether he was going to be sick. Then a burning sensation spread rapidly from his stomach to the very ends of his fingers and toes. Next, bringing him gasping to all fours, came a horrible melting feeling, as the skin all over his body bubbled like hot wax, and before his eyes, his hands began to grow, fingers thickened, the nails broadened, the knuckles were bulging like bolts, his shoulders stretched painfully. Growling pangs, am I right? And a prickling on his forehead told him that hair was creeping down more toward his eyebrows. His robes ripped as his chest expanded like a barrel bursting tubes. His feet were agony juice, 4 sizes too small. As suddenly as it had started, everything stopped. Harry lay face down on stone cold floor, listening to Myrtle's gurgling moan morosely and toilet. With difficulty, he kicked off the shoes and stood up. So this was what it felt like, being Goyle. His arched hands trembling, he pulled off his old robes, which were hanging a foot above his ankles, pulled on the spare ones, and laced up Goyle's 4 like shoes. He reached up to brush his hair out of his eyes, and met only the short growth of his wiry bristles, low on his forehead. Then he realized that his glasses were clouding his eyes. Because Goyle obviously didn't need them. He took them off and called, Are you okay? Goyle's, Are you okay? Goyle's low, rasping voice issued from his voice. Yeah, came the deep grunt of a crab coming from his right. Harry unlocked his door and stepped in front of a cracked mirror. Goyle stared back at him out of one dull, deepest eyes. Deep set outside. Harry scratched his ears, so did Goyle. Ron's door opened. They stared at each other, except that he was pale and shocked. Ron was indistinguishable from the crab, from the pudding bowl haircut to the long gorilla arms. This is unbelievable, said Ron, approaching the mirror and prodding Cal's flat nose. Unbelievable. We better get going, said Harry, loosening the watch that was cutting into Goyle's thick wrist. We've still got to find where this little Cameron is. I don't hope we can find someone to follow. Go look at that. Ron, who had been gazing at Harry, said, "You don't know how bizarre it is to see Boyle thinking." He banged on Hermione's door. "Come on, we need to go." A high-pitched voice answered him. I, I don't think I'm going to come after all. You go on without me. Hermione, we know most of Bolster is ugly. No one's going to know it's you. No, really. I don't think he'll come. You two hurry up. You're wasting time. Harry looked at Ron brutally. "That looks more like William," said Ron. "That's how he looks every time a teacher asks him a question." "Hermione, are you okay?" said Harry through the door. "Fine, I'm fine. Go on." Harry looked at his watch. 5 of the precious 60 minutes had already passed. "We'll meet you back here, all right?" "Yes." Harry and Ron opened the door of the bathroom carefully, checked that the coast was clear, and set off. "Don't swing your arms like that," Harry muttered Ron. "Eh?" "Grab holds him for a stiff. How's this?" "Yeah, it's better." They went down the marble staircase. All they needed now was a Slytherin that they could follow to the Slytherin Common. But there was nobody around. "Any ideas?" wondered Harry. "The Slytherin always comes up here for breakfast from over there," said Ron, nodding at the entrance to the dungeons. The words had barely left his mouth when a girl with long, curly hair emerged from the entrance. "Excuse me," said Ron, hurrying up to her. "We've forgotten the way to a common room." "I beg your pardon," said the girl stiffly. "Our common room. I'm a Ravenclaw." I'm sorry, I just feel like all the Ravenclaws would be kind of like snobby, you know? So yeah, I gave her that Ravenclaw girl a snobby attitude. She walked away, looking suspiciously back at him. Harry and Ron hurried down the stone steps into the darkness, their footsteps echoing particularly loudly as Crabbe and Goyle's huge feet hit the floor, feeling that this wasn't going to be easy as they hoped. The labyrinthine passages were deserted. They walked to deeper and deeper under the school, constantly checking their watches to see how much time they had left. After a quarter of an hour, aka 15 minutes, just when they had gotten desperate, they heard a sudden movement ahead. "Ha! That's one of them now," said Lawrence Elliot. The figure was emerging from a side room. Oh. As they hurried nearer, their hearts sank. It wasn't a Slytherin. It was Percy. "What are you doing down here?" said Ron in surprise. Percy looked confronted. "That," he said stiffly, "is none of your business. It's Crabbe, isn't it?" "Oh, yeah. Well, you tough to your dumb toys. It's not safe to go wandering around dark corridors these days." "You are," Ron said, my point out. "I," said Percy, drawing himself up, "am a prefect. Nothing's about to attack me." A voice suddenly echoed behind Harry and Ron. Draco Malfoy was strolling toward them, and for the first time in his life, Harry was pleased to see him. "There you are. You two been picking on the Great Hall all this time. Been looking for you. Want to show you something really funny." Malfoy glanced witheringly at Percy. "What are you doing now, Weasley?" he sneered. Percy was outraged. "Hmm. We want to show a bit more respect to us, your prefect," he said. "I don't like your attitude." Malfoy sneered and motioned for Harry and Ron to follow him. They almost said something apologetic to Percy, who caught himself just in time. He and Ron hurried after Malfoy, who, as they turned into the next passage, who said as they turned to that Peter Weasley, Percy, Ron corrected my mother. Whatever. I noticed him sneaking around a lot there. I bet I know what he's up to. He thinks he's going to catch Slytherin's hair single-handed. He gave a short, derisive laugh. Harry and Ron exchanged excited looks. Malfoy paused by a stretch of bare, damp stone wall. What's the new password again? Oh yeah. Pure blood, said Malfoy, not listening. The stone door concealed in the wall stood open. Malfoy marched to it, and Harry and Ron followed him. The Slytherin common room was a long, low, underground room with rough stone walls and ceiling, which round greenish lamps are hanging on chains. A fire is crackling under an elaborately got us wrong, carved mantelpiece ahead of them. And several Slytherins were silhouetted around in the high-backed chairs. Wait here, said Malfoy to Harry and Ron, motioning them to a pair of empty chairs set back from the fire. I'll go and get it. My father's just sent it to me. Wondering what Malfoy was going to show them. Harry and Ron sat down, doing their best to look at home. Malfoy came back a minute later, holding what looked like a newspaper clipping. He thrust it under Ron's nose. This'll give you all a laugh, he said. Harry saw Ron's eyes widen in shock. He read the clipping quickly, gave a very forced laugh, and handed it to Harry. It had been clipped out of the Daily Prophet, and said, Antiquity in the London Study of Magic. Arthur Weasley, head of the Misuse of Muggle Artifacts Office, was today fined 50 galleons for bewitching the Muggle card. Are they 50 galleons? Losers can't afford that shit. Mr. Lucius Malfoy, the governor of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, where the enchanted car crashed earlier this year, called today for Mr. Weasley's resignation. Weasley is brought the machine into disrepute, Mr. Malfoy told the reporter. She is clearly unfit to draw up our laws, and his ridiculous Muggle protection act should be scrapped and used. Mr. Weasley was unavailable for comment, although his wife told the court to clear off, or she'd set the family rule on them. Well, said Malfoy, impatient as Harry handed the clippings back to him, don't you think it's funny? Ha ha, said Harry bleakly. Arthur Weasley loves Muggles so much he should just snap his one in half and you join them, said Malfoy scornfully. You'd never know the Weasleys and Purefoys, the way they behave. Ron, opening, here this one. Ron, or rather Crabbe's face was contorted with fury. What's up with you, Crabbe? Snapped Malfoy. Stomachache, Ron grunted. Well, go up to the hospital and give all those mudbuds a kick from me, said Malfoy, snickering. You know, I'm surprised that Daddy Papa hasn't reported all these attacks yet. He went on thoughtfully. I suppose Dumbledore is trying to hush trouble. He'll be sucked if it doesn't stop singing. Father's always said old Dumbledore's the worst thing that's ever happened to this place. He loves Muggleborns. A decent headmaster would never let slime like that creep again. Ouch. I thought he was about to say Hermione, but whatever. Malfoy started taking pictures with an imaginary camera and did a cruel but accurate impression of Colin. Potter, can I have your picture, Potter? Can I have your photograph? Can I lick your shoes, Potter, please? He dropped his hands and looked at Harry and Ron. What's the matter with you two? What's the matter with you two? Far too late, Harry and Ron forced themselves to laugh. The Malfoy seemed satisfied. Perhaps crab and gorillas were always slower on their feet. Saint Potter, the mudblood's friend, said Malfoy slowly. He's another one, no proper wizarding feeling, for he wouldn't go around that jumped up in Granger mudblood, and people think he's Slytherin's eye. Harry and Ron waited with bated breath. Malfoy was surely seconds away from telling us him. Then, I wish I knew who it was, said Malfoy petulantly. I could help them. Ron's jaw dropped, and the crowd looked even more clueless than usual. Fortunately, Malfoy didn't notice. And Harry, thinking fast, said, You must have some idea who's behind it all. No, I haven't, Boyle. How many times have I told you? Snapped Malfoy. Father won't tell me anything about the last time the chamber was open either. Of course, it was 50 years ago, so it's before his time. But he knows all about it. And he says that it was all kept quiet and it was suspicious if I know too much about it. But I know one thing. The last time the Chamber of Secrets was open, Mudblood died. So I bet it's only a matter of time before one of them is killed again. Killed this time. I hope it's Granger, he said with relish. Ron was clenching Crab's gigantic fists. Feeling that would be a bit of a giveaway if Ron punched Mr. Malfoy, Harry shot him a warning look and said, Do you know the person who opened the chamber was caught? Oh, yeah, whoever was expelled, said Malfoy. They're probably still in Azkaban. Azkaban? Said Harry, puzzled. Azkaban? The wizard prison, Royal? Said Malfoy, looking at him in disbelief. Honestly, if you're any slower, you'd be going backward. He shifted restlessly in his chair and said, Father says to keep my head down and let that hair sliver and get on with it. He says the school needs rating involved in Mudblood, though, but not to get mixed up in it. Of course, he's got a lot on his plate at the moment. You know, the Ministry of Magic raided our manor last week. Harry tried to face Goyle's dull face with a mask of concern. Yeah? Said Malfoy. Luckily, they didn't find much. Father's gone through some very valuable dark art stuff. But luckily, we've got our own secret chamber in the drawing room floor. Paul? Malfoy looked at him. So did Harry. Ron blushed. Even his hair was turning red. His nose was also slowly lengthening. The hour was up. Ron was turning into himself, and from looking forward he was suddenly giving Harry. He must be too. They both jumped up to their feet. Listen from my stomach, Ron grunted. And without further ado, they sprinted the length of the Silver Common Room, hurled themselves at the stone wall, and dashed up the passage, hoping against hope that Malfoy hadn't noticed anything. Harry could feel his feet slipping around in Goyle's huge shoes, and had to hoist up his robes as he shrank. They crashed up the steps into the dark entrance hall, which was full of a muffled pounding coming from the closet where they had locked Crabbe and Goyle. Leaving their shoes outside the closet door, they sprinted in their socks up the marble staircase toward Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. Well, it wasn't a complete waste of time, Ron answered, closing the bathroom door behind them. I know we still haven't found out who's doing the attacks, but I'm going to write to Dad tomorrow and tell him to check on the Malfoy's drawing room. Harry checked his face in the cracked mirror. He was back to normal. He put his glasses on and, as Ron hammered on the door to Hermione's soul, Hermione, come out. We've got loads to tell you. Go away, Hermione squeaked. Harry and Ron looked at each other. What's the matter? Said Ron. You must be back to normal by now. We are. The Moaning Myrtle glided suddenly through the stall. Harry had never seen her looking so happy. Oh, wait till you see, she said. It's Awful! They heard the lock slide back and Hermione emerged, sobbing. Her rose pulled up over her head. What's up? Said Ron uncertainly. Have you still got more recent bullshit's nose or something? Hermione let her robes fall and run back into the sink. Her face was covered in black fur. Her eyes had turned yellow, and there were long, pointed ears poking through her hair. It was cat hair, you know. Innocent bullshit must have a cat, and the potion isn't supposed to be for animal transformations. Uh-oh. You'll be teased something dreadful, said Murder happily. It's okay, Hermione. We'll take you up to the hospital room. Madam Pomfrey never asks too many questions. It took a very long time. It took a long time to persuade Hermione to leave the bathroom. Moaning Myrtle sped them on their way with a hearty guffaw. Wait till everyone finds out you've got a tail. Chat in the next chapter, chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary. I wonder how many pages that's going to be. So from 227 to 249. But we got 222, about 22 pages. All right, not too bad. But I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast so much. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets review. Daves-Raves out. Smash that like button and that subscribe button with that notification bell all the way around. Peace.